Well, what's up, everybody? I am joined by my friend Shawn. Shawn is my good friend and fellow youth leader. Shawn, how you doing?
Doing well.
What'd you do
Loving
today?
life, man. It, you know, I do so many different things in a day. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at work. So I did a pile of stuff. I worked today,
Mm-hmm.
but I went over to where our new race car is being painted.
Okay.
I helped out with that a little bit. Then I took some of the front suspension parts back, tore them apart, polished the lower control arms, went through the struts to make sure that they weren't leaking and none of the seals were bad. Went through all the Heim joints, made sure that they were all still good.
Uh-huh.
Then I went into my new brand spanking new engine assembly room and started working on a twin turbo Hemi.
And we're gonna put a picture of that right here, and we'll also put a picture up of the car you're talking about. So
Cool.
yeah. So you got to do like fun work today,
Yeah, today was a fun day.
dude.
Yeah,
That's so
absolutely.
awesome. That's awesome.
It is. It's not as cool as being a pastor, but
But building race car motors is pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie.
it, it, there's worse things to be doing out there. I can guarantee it.
Oh, I love it. If you guys don't know, Shawn serves Bethel Church in a plethora of ways, ranging
That's an
from
excellent
playing
word.
and shredding the guitar to shredding the bass guitar. And also, he is a board member, he's a youth leader, and he's just an all around awesome dude. And so I'm excited for this, and I'm excited for all of you to be watching this because Shawn's legit. And yeah. So let's jump into this. What is your favorite thing to do when you're not working?
Oh my word. Um, I really enjoy, and this is going to sound kind of a little generic and corny. I really enjoy hanging out with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I'm so busy during the day, during the week, and I
Mm-hmm.
usually spend Saturdays working some, and then Sundays. We commit quite a bit of time at church on Sundays,
Mm-hmm.
and so my time off, I really like just kind of hanging out with her and
Yeah,
appreciating the awesomeness that Ruth is.
dude, she is so legit. She's like a mom. Ruth is also a youth leader, and Ruth is like a mom to everybody, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I married way over my head.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, so what is your absolute dream job? So if you could choose to do something other than what you do for a normal job, what would it be?
You know, I've actually kind of done it. Um, I went to work for a place in Kansas, and we built race engines
Mm-hmm.
and toured all over the United States. We had a competitive professional drag race team, and so I got to travel with them and got to ship engines all over the world. At one point we had the highest specific output naturally aspirated small block Chevys on the planet. Um,
Dang.
yeah, that was a pretty cool job. Um, I enjoy what I'm doing right now, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think being a professional musician would have been fun.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a pretty cool gig.
Yeah.
Um, but I've been so blessed my whole life to be able to do such a variety of different things
Mm-hmm.
that I don't necessarily want for anything like that.
Hmm. And what do you do right now, Shawn? Because I know you said that you were obviously working on a race car today, but that's not normally what you do every single day. You just get to do it every once in a while you're on the clock.
Yeah, so I work for one of my best friends. It's a company called Airport Glass, and they're based out of Tumwater. And we do commercial and residential glass. We do fencing. We do siding. We do roofing. We do remodels. We do all kinds of shower doors, and then we also have a machine shop in there too. So I get to do race engine stuff also.
So, is all of that engine stuff just for him, or is it for other people too? That
No, it's for other people. So
okay.
about half the stuff that I have in the shop right now is regular customers that are,
Hmm.
you know, soliciting our business for that type of stuff. So
Okay.
and as we add more equipment, we haven't really kind of made the announcement that we haven't totally thrown it out there yet that we're going to be available for everybody to do.
Hmm.
But I've got enough previous customers and previous clientele and word of mouth type stuff that
Hmm.
I stay pretty busy
Yeah.
with just that.
Yeah. That's super cool. How did you get into like building motors, and how did that even come about?
Well, when I was young, my dad was into racing, and he started out racing in the late 50s and early 60s and drag racing, and we always, when I was young, we had drag boats, flat
Hmm.
bottom drag boats, and there's a picture of me when I was 5 years old standing on the side of the transom in the boat changing the spark plugs in our Hemi. So I was kind of born into it a little bit.
Yeah.
Through high school, I wasn't really all that interested in it till I just got out of high school. And then when I got out of high school, I decided that, you know, racing and race engines were something that I wanted to do and I wanted to
Hmm.
pursue. And so I did that for a while.
That's super cool. How long did you do it? Do you remember?
Oh boy. I probably have 8-ish years
Hmm.
in doing race engines. I worked for a local company in Centralia, and then I got recruited to go work for the company then in Kansas, which was
Hmm.
Patterson Race, Patterson Elite,
Hmm.
and they moved us out there, and it was like I said, that was a pretty neat job,
Yeah.
pretty fun.
That's awesome. I love it, Sean. I love it. And people like even if they know you, like they'll never I feel like every time I hang out with you or talk to you, it's like I learn something new about you and I have so many like what? Like who knew
Yeah,
that? And I love
yeah,
that. It's so funny and so cool. And even just being able to travel is it was probably pretty fun too.
yeah. It was a lot of work, but you know I was young enough at the time that it didn't wear me out too much. You know,
Mhm.
we would on the weeks that we weren't, you know, that we weren't racing, we'd work in the shop Monday through Friday, and we had a huge list of clients. You know, we at
Mhm.
any one time we probably have 20 motors in the shop that we were doing that come in from
Dang.
literally from all over the world, from England and Australia and New Zealand and stuff that were shipping us motors. And then on race days, depending on how close the race was, I'd either leave on a Wednesday night and roll out with the team, or I would fly out and we would go and then we'd be there, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, come home Sunday night and then go back to work on Monday morning and be back in the shop to go. And so
Dang.
it was, yeah, it was a pretty hectic lifestyle, you know, and
Mhm.
you had to really love doing it.
Mhm.
Uh, Otherwise it wouldn't have been a lot of fun if you didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah. Was
But
that before you and Ruth were together?
no, in
Okay.
fact, I went out and worked out there for a little while for a few months. She was actually pregnant with Darian at that time,
Okay.
and I went back home, and she had Darian when I went back home, and then I went back out and moved all of our stuff out, and then they came out a month or so later.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I want to know. So you're one of our youth leaders. You don't just build race motors and install ridiculously dope shower doors and windows and all this custom stuff. So you're also a youth leader. You're a freshman and sophomore boys small group leader. And so, like, why did you become a youth leader? You and your wife Ruth, like, you guys have been like serving on our youth leader team like since pretty much Megan and I came on staff at Bethel,
Mm-hmm.
almost. And so, yeah, why did you become a youth leader, and what kind of makes you stick around?
Well, to start with, we got involved with it because of our daughter Darian,
Mm-hmm.
and she was in the youth program. And one of the reasons that we wanted to start attending Bethel was because youth program there is it's amazing. It just is. The people that are involved and everybody else. It's such a strong group of people. And so I got involved because Darian was in it, and we were involved in the other church we were at, and so it kind of felt like a natural progression to kind
Mm-hmm.
of work our way in.
Yeah.
Um, Even though she's been gone for 3 or 4 years now out of the youth program, um, I stick around because I still feel like I've been called to it.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like God says that you've got some work to do here yet, and I still feel like I can have a positive input
Mm-hmm.
on the students that are there.
Yeah.
Um, they're all pretty near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Um, there's times when you know they break my heart, and sometimes they with some of the things that they have to experience today.
Mm-hmm.
And there's times when I'm just so happy when I see them rejoicing and giving praise to God and doing
Yeah.
those things, that it's just I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Mm. Yeah, we're so thankful that you're on our team. I think one of my favorite things about you, Sean, is like just how encouraging you are, like to everybody. Like no matter who the person is, they could be like a seventh grade boy or me, like almost 30, and it's just like you always see the best in people, and you always remind them of the best in them, and it's just like one of my favorite things about you. So thank you for
Well,
being
thank
that
you.
way and bringing that.
Yeah, everybody has something good about them,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes we forget,
Mm-hmm.
so I always try to make sure that I remind everybody that first and foremost that you know um, they are special and they are unique, and they do matter.
Yeah.
And especially on the team side of things, whether it's our worship team or whether it's our youth staff or any of those things, um, what you guys do is so important, and it means so much to the youth that are there,
Mm-hmm.
that you don't get enough thanks. So I always want to make sure that everybody there, I try to make sure they get the appreciation that they deserve.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate that. So in youth ministry, when you deal with teenagers, and we were once there, but
Yeah.
we don't
A
always
while
do.
ago.
It was ages ago. We
Yeah.
don't always do the smartest things in the world. So I want you to tell us what was the dumbest thing you did as a kid, or if you
Oh,
can think of a
word.
multiple.
I I got to tell you, I was kind of an ornery kid. Um, the person that I am today isn't the person that I was, even 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we did some pretty awful things, and so, boy, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything anything that I want to give anybody ideas. Oh boy.
uh,
I had three sisters
okay.
I still have three sisters that I grew up with, and so we I used to have to kind of defend myself on occasion
Okay.
because they were the power of three,
Uh-huh.
and so
Are they
we went on
older
this.
than you?
I've got two younger and one older,
Okay. Okay.
and we went on this road trip to Southern California once. And this will tell you how old it was. There was four of us kids in the back of the truck, and mom and dad in the front.
Mm.
And they had this carpeted insert thing that was put in there and a canopy and stuff. But we were literally going through Death Valley, California, and it's 110 degrees out. And they were whining and complaining, and it's so hot, and it's so hot. And I got tired of listening to it, so I just took my shoes off. And that's a pretty unique smell that it creates heat in heat like that. And I kind of knew what was coming, but I was so tired of them complaining and complaining and whining and whining and whining. And I thought, you know what, you guys are going to find something to really complain about. So I whipped them bad boys off and took my socks off, and that wasn't a comfortable hour for them. I can tell you that.
Was this the days before air conditioning?
Oh yeah, we just open the windows and drive faster.
Uh-huh.
There's four of us literally in the back of a pickup truck with a canopy on it.
Wait, so you were like in
So
the bed of the truck?
in the bed of the pickup truck.
Oh, dude, even better.
Yeah, yeah. So you open up the slider
Uh-huh.
on the front, and then open the side windows in the back, and then we prop the tailgate, the canopy door open to try to get a little breeze blowing through there. But I was up at the front, so all that magnificent odor was wafting its way from the front to the back, and they're like, oh,
Dude.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, your parents would be arrested if that was to happen right now.
Oh, I know. I know. You can tell how old it was because, there's four of us stuck in the back of a pickup truck in 110-degree weather in Death Valley.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny.
Uh,
So tell us how you became a Christian and like what's maybe been a big like defining moment in your relationship with Jesus, or maybe just a defining like season in your life with Jesus. Did you grow up in a Christian home or anything?
no, no, I didn't. And there was a couple key things that happened in my life, and my wife started attending at New Life in Toledo, which is
Mm-hmm.
which is an Asian church, and at the time Pastor Brandon Hollis was there,
Mm-hmm.
and she kept bugging me to go and bugging me to go, and I didn't really want to go. I just didn't. Sundays for sleeping in. It wasn't for getting up and going to church.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, my daughter, of all things, says, "Dad, why don't you go to church with us? How come you're not going?" And I didn't really have a good answer. I didn't. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought, oh man, and they were doing Christmas, programs and Easter programs and things with the youth.
Yeah.
And so I came, I think it was one Easter I went and watched the program and hung out and talked to a few people, and then I didn't go for a couple of weeks. And then on Sunday, she's like, Darian's like, "Dad, you need to come to church." And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So I get up and I go in, and I went for a couple months, and I didn't, I just kind of listened, just kind of hung out and watched, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't understand, what was going on. I'd listen to the message and I'd hear about, the spirit, and I'd hear about, the blood of God and various things. And I didn't have any biblical background to it at all. So for a lot of it, for me, it was really kind of hard to understand. And also all the way through school, I was an advanced science student.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to rationalize evolution, and going from the goo to the zoo to you,
Mm.
and at the same time having a God that created everything, it didn't really line up real well with what I thought was correct at the time. It
Yeah.
just didn't. And so I struggled with that, and uh, Pastor Brandon loaned me a video, and it was creationist science video.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it and I thought, wow, that's kind of interesting. And then I watched it again and I watched it again. And I ended up watching it
Mm.
like 4 times over the
Wow.
course of 4 nights. And so I started to get this, I guess you'd call, scientific background from uh, theological side versus a scientific background from, an evolutionary side.
Mm.
And the more I started to really kind of open my eyes and pay attention and listen to these things, um, the more I started to realize that a lot of the things that I had been taught aren't necessarily correct.
Hmm.
Um, and it made it. I kind of came to God through science versus coming to God through, a meeting with the Holy Spirit.
Hmm.
And one day it just kind of all clicked.
Hmm.
And, you can, it's the day that I was saved, that I finally said, you know what, I've had this wrong, God, and I'm
Hmm.
sorry. I really am. Um, it was the same day I was going to have lunch with Pastor Brandon, and I remember standing in his office, and he still tells this story to as part of his services.
Hmm.
He cracks me up. He tells me all the time. He'll call me. He says, "Oh, I told your story today," and I was standing in his office, and he goes, "So," he says, "you've been here a while," and he says, "I know you've been doing a lot of research on this, creationism, and he says, where do you stand with God?" And I said, "Well, I'm all in."
Hmm.
He's like, just like that?" I was like, "Yeah, just like that." He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, we need to do the we need to pray then," And so
Yeah.
we prayed, and that was it,
How long
and
ago was that, Sean?
oh my gosh, it's probably been it had to have been 17 years ago.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
That's super cool.
yeah. So that's it, and
Yeah.
Pastor Brandon, one of the reasons why he brings it up is that um, I didn't have this Holy Spirit moment that a lot of people
Hmm.
have. I
Yeah.
wasn't crying, and I didn't fall to my knees at the pulpit, and
Yeah.
I wasn't even in church,
Yeah.
and I was by myself,
Hmm.
and he uses as an example that everybody is different, and God
Yeah.
reaches everybody in different ways, and God's going to reach you the way that you need to be reached.
Yeah. That's so cool. I love hearing that. And I love like just hearing of how like people come to know like who Jesus is, and like just like you said, like everybody's different. And I think sometimes we always like want to equate like salvation with this like crazy emotional moment, and it's like everything has to be right, like the temperature in the room, it's the right
Yeah,
lighting cue as
you
soon
got to
as,
hold your hands just right.
yeah, the guitar player
Yeah,
has to hit the right chord,
exactly.
and then it's like the spirit falls and it's ready. But it's just like for you, it was just weighing out um like like a God that designed the world and a God that designed everything in it, to like everything just kind of came to be and there was no order. And that's interesting.
Hmm.
So, like you growing up, not in a household that followed Jesus and coming to Jesus the way that you did, like what would you tell? Like, if you could tell a teenager one thing, what would you tell them? And then also, like, what would you tell your teenage self?
Oh boy. Um, I would tell the youth that we have showing up today. First of all, thank you for coming.
Hmm.
You are in the right place. You do matter, and by showing up, you you're getting the information that you're going to need to guide you through the rest of your life.
Hmm.
When you're young, you don't always think about tomorrow or next week or next year or whatever else is going on around you.
Yeah.
But the fact that you showed up, first of all, it takes courage in today's environment, in the world we live in today, to walk through the doors.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say congratulations, that you're doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for me as a teenager, I wish I would have been shown that there was an alternative.
Hmm.
I have an aunt and uncle that live in West Lynn down in Oregon. Um, very, very strong Christian people, and there's just simply amazing people. And my whole life, my aunt, she was one of the sweetest people I know. Um, has always been praying for me, always.
Mm,
Um, I'll tell a little story. It was kind of interesting. One year, um, I was probably 4 years old, and I I remember this. Um, they were there for Christmas, and she wanted to go to a local church for Christmas. And I was 4. I didn't know. I just wanted to go hang out with aunt and uncle, right?
mm-hmm.
So I'm in church, and I remember listening and watching the whole message. And at the end of the service, they had an altar call, and I stood up in the seat and raised my hands
Mm,
at 4 years old. So um, my aunt still tells that story too.
mm,
But I I think if I would have been shown something different at a younger age and been a little more inquisitive,
mm.
um, I think it would have really changed. It would have saved me a lot of problems in
Yeah,
life.
totally. Yeah, and what a cool thing now, though, in your position and with the influence that you have, that you get to help other students, like, you know, not maybe make the same mistakes that you did, and help them like process what it means for them to follow Jesus. And that's like such a
Mhm.
cool, and I love that, like, that's just one of the ways that you're giving back is by you being a youth leader, and playing music and being on our board at the church. And yeah, I love that.
Well, I feel so blessed to be around everybody that's there, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's the honest truth. When I come in, it just makes me smile when I come in the door.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just does.
Yeah.
And I have such strong feelings for everybody that's there, you know, um, young and old.
Mm-hmm.
That there's not any place that I would rather be,
Yeah.
on any day of the week, but especially on a Sunday and a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Is being able to come in and try to contribute and try to help. And
Mm-hmm.
with my age, I'm obviously not in touch with the youth of today and everything that's going on, but I think some things translate beyond the years.
100%.
And so hopefully I still have some input that's meaningful,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope that I can at least speak to them in a way that they can understand, or we can both understand, because
Mm-hmm.
there's things I learn from them every time, every
Oh
Wednesday
my
too.
gosh, right? Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think no matter how old you are, like when you encounter a person that is like caring and actually like cares about who you are and is authentic, dude, that trumps relevance. That trumps skinny jeans any day, Sean.
Yeah, yeah.
Any
I
day.
yeah. Cody was trying to get me to wear a pair of skinny jeans one day. He's like, dude, you need to go get some skinny jeans, man. And I was like, yeah, nobody wants to see
I mean, we kind of do, but I mean,
that.
we'll figure out a time. Oh, I love it. Okay, last question, Sean.
Okay.
Okay, so if you um okay, I'm gonna ask the question this way.
Okay.
Three meals: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Actually,
Okay.
let's do breakfast and dinner.
Okay.
Okay, so if you could eat like one like breakfast for like the rest of your life, no like health wasn't a thing, and you would like continuously enjoy this, what would you choose?
Oh, I'd have to go French toast.
Ooh,
French toast and bacon,
okay.
maple syrup.
Mm,
I'm a little bit different. I like
okay.
peanut butter on my French toast.
Mm-hmm.
So French toast with peanut butter and bacon.
Okay.
That's
Now, dinner. What would you choose for dinner?
dinner.
Same rules apply.
Mm,
No health, but nothing. It's just whatever.
pretty. How specific can I just say Mexican?
Yeah, that's fine.
Mexican. Yep,
Okay.
Mexican food.
Okay. So
Yep.
you go to a Mexican restaurant. What are you typically gonna order?
I kind of sample around a little bit, but
Okay.
we eat at the one here in Winlock quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when we go to it, we take
Mm-hmm.
it out now.
Yeah.
But they've got a macho burrito. So chicken
Okay.
macho burrito is oh, that's some good stuff. Oh. And then the number 21, which is two hard shell tacos, and I get a chicken enchilada.
Okay.
Comes with rice and beans. That's
Mm.
yeah, that's pretty good. I don't do any
It's
of the
just,
seafood stuff. My Ruth is way into the seafood. In fact, for her birthday, we did takeout from Guadalajara.
okay. Yeah, the whole seafood thing, I just can't get on that train. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, it's not me.
No.
Not,
Megan likes it, but I'm just not a fan.
yeah, I can agree. I can
Mhm.
empathize with that.
But fish tacos from Taco Bell, that's legit.
Fish
Fish
tacos.
tacos from Taco Bell.
Yeah,
That's not sketchy at
yeah. I
all.
think I'd have to pass on the fish tacos from Taco Bell too. Yeah.
That's funny. Well, Sean, thank you so much for taking time and just talking with me. And hopefully, people just know a little bit more about you and your heart and how awesome you are. So, thank you, Sean. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much. I love this. This is
Yeah.
fun.
All right. We'll see you later, Sean.
See ya.